Hi, I want to introduce you to two new video series that we're going to be starting on the NOLATAC YouTube channel. The first one is going to be the What Would You Do series. And exactly as the name suggests, we want to look at actual incidents that have happened and have been uploaded to YouTube, take them, dissect them a little bit, digest the information that's in them, and ask ourselves, what would we do in those situations? What could we do in those situations? And probably most importantly, what should we do in those situations, or what should we not do? Our goal is not to Monday morning quarterback these people, but to simply utilize their unfortunate circumstances as learning tools. And I truly believe that that's something that is incumbent upon us. And if anything should happen to me, I hope that people utilize whatever information can be gleaned from my incident to hopefully not replicate that in the future. So we're going to look at those, find out what are the most salient points in it, what are some questions that are brought up in that incident, and then start to just kind of share information and figure out what are some examples or what are some ideas that can come from that can maybe make it a little bit easier for the next guy down the road. The second one is going to be good cop versus bad cop. Now, I've been in law enforcement for many years, still involved. By no means, obviously, is this series intended to just blatantly disparage law enforcement officers or police officers. That being said, there are some bad cops out there. There are some really bad cops out there. And generally what they are really bad people who just happen to be cops. If they were bakers or candlestick makers or firemen or anything else, they'd still be bad people. Just because of the fact that they're cops and the power that we give our law enforcement officers, it's a very dangerous person to have in that. So we want to look at these situations, and most of them are going to be negative in nature. It's going to be something where a police officer is acting in a questionable manner or doing something in a questionable manner, and we want to ask ourselves, first off, is what he's doing wrong? How or why is it wrong? And then what will we do in those situations? What should be appropriate punishment for it? And hopefully how can we educate or change the perception so that those incidents don't happen anymore? Again, it's not to just bash police officers. I wouldn't do that. But the guys that go out there and intentionally do bad things, I don't consider my brothers, so it's no skin off my teeth if we go ahead and really dissect what they've done and in many of these cases hold these people accountable. Because through my own experience and knowledge, I know, in my heart of hearts, I know that the overwhelming majority, probably well over 99%, of law enforcement officers are good people out there trying to do a good job. Now, do they sometimes make mistakes? Yeah, they do. But those really bad eggs, those bad apples, we got to get rid of those. We have to identify them and just rail them right out of law enforcement. So we're going to look at some of these incidents as they pop up in breaking news or popular culture, as these things make themselves available to us. We're going to look at them from a self-defense, a liberty-minded mindset, and figure out what we can learn from those. So hang on for the ride. I think there's going to be a lot of great discussion. I'm not someone who really moderates the comments too much. Some of these can get extremely out of hand and extremely racial and bigoted and all that. I'm going to ask that you not do that. But I believe if someone's going to post that in comments, let it go, because that clearly shows that person's mindset and where they're from. So I try not to filter those out. So let's try to keep it civil. Let's try to keep it educational. And anytime you look at anything on YouTube, look at it as a learning experience. What would you do, and what are the learning points from it? As always, be vigilant, be prepared, be safe.